The thriller genre has had a massive success worldwide. People just love being baited and solving mysteries. It gets you engaged and gets your brain working. It wakes up the inner detective inside each of us, and that's just plain cool. Throughout the years, this genre has also had quite the success with the anime community as well. This is why today we'll be going over the top 10 mystery thriller anime movies. Before we continue with the actual list, if you are interested in these types of videos, you should definitely consider subscribing to our channel in order to be notified next time we release a new video you'd be interested in. With that said, put your detective hats on, get your magnifying glasses ready, and let's get on with the video. Number 10. Perfect Blue. Being a pop star isn't easy. While it's cool to have fans sometimes, they can be incredibly problematic. This is what Japanese idol Mima Kirigoe learns in this movie. She leaves her pop idol band to pursue an acting career, and this leads to her life turning upside down thanks to the strange series of events that start happening to her. She becomes a victim of regular stalking, and to top it off, people around her get slaughtered one by one. If that's not creepy enough, the movie is made in such a way that you would never really know who's the good guy, as even Mima seems to have lost it. But that's only until everything is revealed. Perfect Blue is an old-school classic that honestly deserves more attention than it gets. Perhaps you'll be the one to give it the attention it deserves. Number 9. Ungo Ingaron. For everyone that has watched the Ungo anime, you already know that it's one of the best anime detective series out there. For those of you that haven't yet heard of it, imagine Sherlock Holmes, only if it was in a dystopian world, and Watson wasn't a middle-aged man, but a cute young girl instead. The story follows the classic formula of having different cases for the duo to solve, capturing the culprits each time. The spin with this anime is that the young girl seems to have quite sinister intentions for the people they capture. This is quite troubling throughout the run of the original anime series, as her identity is shrouded in mystery. Well, it's time to solve that mystery as well, with the Ungo movie. The movie shows how the two met, and gives a bit more context to the anime, and on top of that, has its own mystery that it introduces. So, it's a great watch whether you watch the anime or not. Be sure to give it a go. Number 8. The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. Another anime movie that is based on a series is The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. However, while in Ungo, watching the anime can enhance the experience, as the movie is still a prequel, here, the movie isn't even canon to the series, so you can watch it completely independently from the anime itself. The story follows Kyon, who gets distressed after his high school friends, one of which being Haruhi, all disappear. When he goes to school, the rest of his classmates treats him as if they've never seen him, and he seems to be in an alternative universe. The main idea is to find out what happened, and to go back to his reality. But while this seems a bit bland to the movie, it does a perfect job of keeping you more engaged throughout his trials. And don't worry, Haruhi does appear, but not as you'd think. I guess you'll just have to watch it to find out. Number 7. Garden of Sinners. Every time an anime can dish out a badass name like this one, you can just know it's gonna be good. Garden of Sinners is no exception. Rather than one movie, Garden of Sinners is composed of 7 short films that aren't chronologically connected in any way. Even so, it's extremely captivating. An anime can always keep you on edge when a likable character is on the brink of going off to the deep end. It just makes for a really well done back and forth, where you're kind of rooting for the character but also curious when they'll snap. Such is this situation with Shiki, who can't seem to choose between her lovable humanist side and her dark sinful nature. If that's not captivating enough, the animation is done so well that many people claim that it's one of the prettiest anime out there. All in all, it's a movie series that you're sure to have a good time with. Number 6. Eden of the East. The King of Eden. a sequel to the Eden of the East anime series, which is one of the most underrated shows in the face of the earth. The King of Eden shows the aftermath of preventing Japan's destruction. Akira now has one request, and it's time to become the King of Japan. Just as he requests this, it appears, and the only clue his friend Saki has about where he is a text message saying, "I'll be waiting where our journey started." The fact that he left this text message after requesting to be king is extremely symbolic if you've watched the anime. And while this is one of the movies where it's best if you watch the anime beforehand, it's a short anime, so you won't lose much time, and the experience is definitely worth it. Moving on.
Who are you? I've been looking for you. I want to hear your story. Story? I'll make it worth your while. Yeah. Oh well, I would have liked one that's a little more juicy.
Everyone already knows what the anime is about, and you haven't watched, you've been living under a rock, as it's arguably the best anime in existence. Being one of the most successful anime ever made, it's almost a guarantee that anything that comes out, and also follows the original story, will be fire. And this is exactly the case with this movie. The movie basically retells the whole story, which is already great on its own, but does so from the perspective of the coolest Shinigami ever, Ryuk. Ryuk is the one telling the story from his point of view, and it has some scenes that weren't in the original anime. It's one of those movies that just gives you everything you were craving after watching the anime, and a bit more, and is definitely worth the watch. Number 4. Paprika. It's not easy to combine thrillers with various fantasy elements, but that's what this movie does, as if it was the only way to do so. Paprika follows the story of Atsuko Chiba and Kosaku Tokita, who are medical practitioners that use a special dream-entering device, with which they can enter other people's dreams. Kind of like Inception, only anime and thriller. It's a great technology that is a great help for people with mental issues. The problem is, when this marvelous device is stolen by a person with mental health issues of his own, and starts using it in unimaginable ways. The cool thing is that Paprika was made before Inception, so if you feel like it's ripping it off, it's actually the other way around. Number 3. Psycho Pass the movie. Entering the top 3, we have the movie adaptation of Psycho Pass. Psycho Pass is also one of these animes that is a bit underrated, even though it has one of the most captivating premises out there. It's set in a dystopian world where there's a special law system that has guns that are able to detect malicious intent. Anyone with a high enough percentage of said intent gets shot, but anyone below the set percentage cannot. Seems like nothing can go wrong, correct? Well, when you have the main villain of the series be a psychopath that can do all these terrible things without a hint of malice in his mind, that complicates things. He goes around doing evil deeds in front of everyone, and as normal bystanders see him, they start getting malicious intent in their mind, which leads to the guns detecting them. The story of Psycho Pass, the anime, follows a detective who's trying to capture him. The movie is basically the same, but not as connected, meaning it's its own separate story. So you can still enjoy it even if you haven't watched the anime. Number 2. Death Billiards. At the number 2 spot, we have another prequel to an anime series that is also extremely underrated. The movie has a similar premise to the anime. When someone passes away, he either goes to heaven or hell. But when 2 people pass away at the same time, things get a little interesting. They arrive at what seems like a bar, where they're forced to play different games where their true colors would be shown. Then the judges decide whether to send them to heaven or hell. These 2 people, however, aren't what they appear to be, and this changes everything. While the anime itself focuses more on the judges themselves, the movie goes into the psyche of the participants in the game. It's a nice change of perspective, and goes to show just how much psychology and philosophy you can cram into a single concept. A great movie to delve into for sure. And the anime is also pretty great. Now before we reveal our top pick, if you enjoyed this video so far, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel to be notified of future content. Now let's see what the best mystery thriller anime movie really is. Number 1. Steins Gate the movie. Of course, the number 1 spot goes to Steins Gate. When it comes to the thriller genre, part of what makes it great is the twists and turns of plot, keeping you on the edge of your seat. And this movie has that in spades. The problem is that anything you say about this movie will be a spoiler, so we can't say much, but the gist of it is, we have a group of guys who stumbled upon a time machine, that's in the anime, and changed the past, and each time travel or each small change in the past leads to major changes in the future. Now in the movie, one of these people start fading from time, hence the quote, "Would you remember me if I never existed?" The movie plays with your heart, having people forget Rintaro, and him vanishing from reality. We follow Kurisu, as he tries his best to fix this, and it's almost like we ourselves are trying to help a friend out. The movie just gets you so invested it's crazy. But any more than that, and we'll be spoiling you big time. So there you have it, the top 10 mystery thriller anime movies. What do you say? Did we nail it? Make sure to leave any of your suggestions for great mystery thriller anime movies down in the comments below. The whole idea is to have more great movies exposed to people, so do your best. With that said, we'll be leaving you to your new detective work, watching these movies. So as always, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.